not, my buddy.
Welcome to Surface Noise, the A-side.
Bianca, are you doing nunchucks? Was that what that was? That looked like some Karate Kid stuff.
Trucks are numb.
Good to see everybody back every other week. Of course, I'm watching. Believe it or not, this is a spoiler alert. I do watch the B-side. Sometimes I don't watch it live, but I have to watch it I have to watch it really that evening because I edit it for the podcast. So I'm sure all the smart people that watch this show probably already figured that out. But I don't want you to ever think that I'm a diva and I just come in for the A-side and then I take that plane back to Santa Barbara and I'm like ghosting all you fools. So I want to welcome everybody. Let's see. We got the dais is here. We're going to do intros here in a bit. And then I see some legends in the chat. So I got to pay my respects. I got to pay respects to, first of all, Kendall. Kendall was an excellent host / chauffeur / local tour guide when I was in Charlotte recently. His panel is Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem. If you don't subscribe, you literally have no excuse, and I will slap the taste out of your mouth if you don't do it. So that's a threat, and I just gave it to you. So Kendall, good to see you. Eddie Perez. Eddie, I know you said hi to me. Come on. I'm not. There we go. The OG concert buddy in the hizzle. I'll take it. And then I'm real excited because Joey Tavares is here. And I haven't seen Joey in a minute. Joey's always a great contributor in the gallery. Doing well. The Vinyl Man. So we got to vet you because, there's a lot of hocus pocus coming on. So I'm going to see if this is a real person. Go to channel. 400 subscriber. All right, this is real deal. You know what happens when we verify you're a real deal? Add as moderator. Congratulations. You've done what so many people beg to do, and that we give it to pretty much everybody, but we don't get it to anybody. If that makes sense. All right, welcome to Surface Noise. We've got a hearty presentation coming at you. Let's do the introductions, and then we're going to talk about spoiler vinyl records. I don't know if you were expecting that, but that's what we're here to do. Concert buddy at the ones and twos. So happy to be here. And I'm really happy because the first introduction has either been going to the gym or has been working the tries and the delts, or it could just be that amazing concert buddy t-shirt. It's David Bianco. Has never looked more svelte in his life. David, I'm gonna make you big because you've got some kind of UK. Oh, you got green screen. What's going on here?
I don't know.
What is happening? David is a turncoat. He's Benedict Arnolding us right now as the UK Jack is coming through the Concert Buddy logo. David, how are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Excellent. And then Jose Moreno, Ron, Jose, are you ready to tear shit up?
Well, yeah, I got my pipe ready.
Good. You got a wrench. You got a wrench and a pipe. Good. We're ready to go. And then before I get to new Jason, let's go to OG Jason. Some say the most controversial figure in the vinyl community. I just call him Jason Rojas. Jason, hello.
Thanks for having me back on. I'm just in the witch's coven of the V Store. Destroys minds and reaps souls. Get it?
I kind of figured you were into the occult, but I didn't want to talk religion on the presentation because it can be very polarizing. But Jason Rojas, confirmed member of the Wiccan. He's a Wiccan person. And then, like I said, new Jason, we're trying to corner the market, a monopoly in the vinyl community on Jason's in the vinyl community. The channel, if you don't know, is Drop the Needle Records. It's been a long time coming. New Jason, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, Chance. Appreciate being here, my friend.
Hey, pleasure. Jason's channel still in the first year, right?
Yeah. December, into December, January will be my first year.
This guy is tearing it up. You should go check out the channel. He's already eclipsed 1,000 subs, so he's actually figured out how to make this work. Unlike the rest of us, jabronis, who hustle and scrape and try to smooch the algorithm. Jason is doing it right. So happy to see your success, and I'm happy you're here. So thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it.
All right, now Vinyl Piper is already coming in salty. I see. He says, I'm going to take a drink every time Jose swears. So you're going to be passed out in about 27 minutes, I would say. Is that a over under, you think? It depends what he's drinking. He could be drinking like those MGD 55s or some kind of like weak stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I think Chris is a tall boy guy.
He's a tall boy. Okay, so he's in the 40s. Yeah. He's from the left coast. You know, they roll up into paper bags in those 40s. That's how I see VP.
Mad Dog.
Oh, Mad Dog. Yeah. Love it. Hello, JT and Lee. Hello. All right, let's get into it, guys. So I don't know if you've heard of this phenomenon called fake news. But when we threw out the, at the beginning of the week, and we'll let you inside baseball. Beginning of the week comes, I'll send out this email, just some ideas, some musings about what to talk about on the presentation. And wouldn't you know, there was a story that broke courtesy of Billboard, which you think is a very reputable brand in the music information space. And the story hinted that vinyl sales were down 33% year over year. Oh, holy smokes. You could feel the rectums, the anuses. Is that the plural of anuses? Anuses?
Anusize.
Owner anus. You could feel it pucker up when that report came out. All these indie stores and executives and everybody. And so I send out the show notes. This will be a fascinating thing to talk about, guys. Yeah, let's talk about it. Because I know, and we'll get into it. I'll kind of talk about my experience with new vinyl of late. But then literally the next day, wouldn't you know, Retraction City happens. And then it's well, I guess it's what they called Spin City, because then it became, no, it's not really down 33%. It's actually up 6%. I think the numbers that were quoted originally were 34.9 million units year prior units, because that's important. We'll get into that, versus 23.3 million units present year. So that constitutes that 33%, yada, yada. Next day, it's up 6%. But I never saw if the 6% was counting dollars or units. And again, we'll get into all this. So anyway, heads or tails, can't tell if vinyl sales are slowing or growing. And, obviously the thumbnail, if you saw this coming in, is the vinyl bubble bursting. It's something we've kind of pondered for a while because you've got so many new people into the hobby. David, that reminds me of a wonderful sound effect, because that's what we're about on this show. Is the bubble bursting or the vinyl renaissance, revolution, reincarnation, whatever? So I don't know. So let's get into it. So David, what did you think? Because I know even in our little show thing, you were the one that sent back the thing saying, whoa, stop the press, 6.2% up. So how did you make heads or tails of this?
Well, I started to think that maybe the same people who are doing government statistics were doing these vinyl statistics, like FBI stuff was wrong. The jobs numbers are, I don't know, maybe, but they said it was a inaccurate methodology was used to come up with the numbers, but they didn't say what it was. But I was thinking what's funny about it and ironic is Billboard came out with that after just breaking the fact that Rhino was going to have a door set. And I'm thinking they're going to be having a heart attack if they think vinyl sales are down 33% as they go into this high fidelity ramp up that they're doing. But the article I sent you talked about the guy here in Dallas, Luke Sardello, that owns Josie, and they're opening a new store, which obviously you wouldn't be opening a new store if they've seen a lot of growth, even in CDs. I think the rose is off the bloom a bit in terms of excitement, but I'm not so sure that means that people aren't buying a lot online. I think that's the shift that is really starting to happen.
So you raise a good point, David, because not to get into too much of what I do for a living, but the phenomenon of e-commerce, it's how do you measure? One of the things about e-commerce is how do you measure a true sale? Is it a sale constituted at the store level? Is it a sale constitute online? You ever heard of BOPIS? That's buy online, pick up in store. So there's always, like, depending on who you ask and what industry you're in, a lot of those numbers kind of are hard to calculate because one person will want to take those sales for their reporting to make them look good. Another person will want to take them for their reporting to make them look good. But the other thing too is a lot of this reporting was talking about pretty much new sales, new vinyl sales.
Right.
There's not really a way to quantify used sales. So I wish there was, because that's obviously, I've talked about it before. That's kind of my bread and butter. So Jason Rojas, as someone akin to my buying spirit, leaning in. I know you buy new. I'm sorry, I'm outing you here. You do buy new and you buy reissues. I know people think you don't, but you do. What do you think about when you saw this report? And obviously, I think there was, first it was from Billboard, courtesy of Luminate, and then the retraction was also courtesy of Luminate. So what did you think of the hocus pocus going on?
Well, I'll be honest here, concert buddy. I was waiting for the Mazzy video to show up.
Oh no! Oh no!
Some tears in the VC.
Well, you didn't have to wait more than 35 seconds.
No, in fairness to Norman, he did have that video. I think he was first to market to say, "Pump the brakes, sales are actually up." So I think it was a community service. I'm gonna tip of the hat from one bald guy.
So, despite bad jokes, what do I think? Like the article, like, I buy records, I buy new ones, I buy reissues, whatever, buy used vinyl. It's just a number. Like, I don't really care, if they're using that number to quantify what or predict what next year or 5 years, you don't want to be saying that before the holiday season. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the timing was you bring up a good point, because the timing, we're literally about to go into the time of the year. You've heard the term Black Friday. If you don't know, that's usually the time of year when retailers who had been working in the red and been working behind, and usually that sales puts them over the top and puts them in terms of positive revenue year over year. So the timing of this report, very interesting, because we're less than 30 days out from Black Friday at this point. And like I said, I'm sure a lot of influential store owners and movers and shakers in the industry were quick to contact the writer of the article. Jose, does this affect you at all? I mean, are you still buying the same amount of new records that you personally were buying last year?
Well, yes, I'm buying more, I guess. I think I bought more records this year than last year. And I traded more records as well. Something I want to add in this discussion is that, for example, these numbers don't include independent label sales. So, for example, if you look at Bandcamp Daily, it's like daily news about Bandcamp and all of them. They've reported that since the beginning of when the pandemic started in 2020, $120 million in sales have happened through them. And that's over 2 million LPs. Just LPs, not digital sales or cassettes or anything, just
physical LP.
Vinyl, yes, which represents 50% of the overall revenue for independent labels in the platform. So I think that accounting for that, there's way more stuff happening than major label releases.
Sure.
So I think that when those numbers are put up, they're really on research, but also because for example, on Bandcamp, you can put how many copies you have, or if you see the entries on Discogs, sometimes people don't even put how many copies they are. Or sometimes you see like independent labels see like 333 copies, when it's actually 350 and the other copies are for the band, blah, 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 right? So I think that I personally, from people that I know, and at least with my label, I'm grateful to say that I felt a little bump more than last year, because I think that most independent labels, after that pandemic, there was a rise of people recording in their house, recording at studios, self-producing a lot of stuff and wanting to put it out. And so right now there's a big long list of people wanting to put their music out, and a lot of independent labels that they're looking to put it up. So I was surprised at first when I heard that, also because Taylor Swift released a record this year. There were like a lot of huge pop star records that sold pretty well. What's the Chappelle Roan had a 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. I mean, come on. Have you ever heard of a 1 year anniversary record? Like this is this is really bottom of the barrel digging marketing. I mean, come on.
Exactly. No, but that's how hot the thing is right now.
Sure.
Charlie XX released a record that was sold out everywhere.
Yes.
So I think that, for example, Taylor Swift had, I think it was 4 or 5 variants, with every single variant had like different color and a extra track. So, and I've been on the Facebook group of people that buy Taylor Swift records. There's more than 20,000 people in that.
Hey, whoa. Don't bury the lead here. You're in a Facebook group of Taylor Swift vinyl record collectors. Jose, we might have to throw you off the show. I mean, what are you talking about?
No. I sold a 7-inch.
You're exploiting the group.
Yes,
okay, good to see. All right. Get those dollars, man.
But what I'm saying is, for example, there was a Chinese release of her record that got released as a Record Store Day title like last year, and even those are going for like $100. So what did I say last week?
Chris is at the end of the gallery.
But I think it's interesting because a lot of young people are buying records more than even us, that we spend $150 for a UHQR. These people are buying every single color variant, every single imported version, blah blah blah, retail version, blah, and like the store exclusive. So I can't imagine. For example, I would want to know if those numbers include people like Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift, most of her sales are on her website.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they counted stuff like that.
And I think they can, just because it's a major label, it's high volume.
No, she's not on a major label. It's self-released right now. I think they have distribution for it, but I think she self-releases it right now because of the Taylor version or whatever. And the only reason I know this information is because, again, as a record label owner, I think that it's amazing that people are not only focusing on stuff like that, and because now records have this demand that they have to have this little extra thing, extra track. That is something that I've done since the label started. I've done perfumes. I've done fucking bars of soap that we did for a Santeria record we put out. Yeah, we like stuff like that, and some major labels start even doing that. I'll show another one that.
Hang on, let me pass the ball to New Jason real quick.
No, but yeah, just to finish up, what I'm saying is there's some extra data I think it's worth looking into that I haven't seen anybody else try to explain.
So before I get New Jason's ready. He's ready. I want to add a couple of little things talking about data consistency, because that's always obviously very important, right? So Billy Fields, I don't know if you know who that is. He's the VP, vinyl strategist, retail commercial service. He's over at Warner. He's a very interesting follow on Twitter or X. That's where I got to know him first and foremost. But this is a direct quote, by all available measures, the vinyl business is up in 2024, whether you'd rather look at the RIAA, Recording Industry Artists Association, those scoring at home, mid-year report, which shows that vinyl shipments to retail accelerated faster than any other major music format to rise 17%. Or you'd like to look at Luminate's measurement of the U.S. physical business, which shows that vinyl is up 6.2%, like I said. Well, either one is an accurate and timely view of the business of vinyl. So, New Jason.
I kind of took it from a different perspective and kind of look at why would vinyl sales be down? And I think it could be like there's just so many different variants out there of records right now, and like overexposure. I mean, like if you look at like Metallica or whatever it is, like you have so many different variants, or they'll say there's a exclusive web store variant, and then you can go on and get it, and then like they release all of a sudden another 1,000 of those, and makes you ticked off. And
Are you saying the old trick, the limited edition isn't so limited? It sounds
exactly.
like.
And then you had COVID happen, and everybody got into records. They got out of COVID, and then some people have records, and then they don't have records anymore. Like they don't have a record player. That could be a reason why it's gone down as well.
Sure.
But at the same time, it did say that vinyl was outselling CDs. I mean, I don't know a ton of people buying CDs.
No.
But in that same thing, it said vinyl was selling out. But life changes. You got inflation happening. People not making. The economy is different now too. That could be a reason why record sales are down. But I think your vinyl collectors are still buying records, but maybe not as many new vinyl collectors are coming out there. You have your Swifties and all of that, but I think that could be a reason why they put that out there. But I think at a point, vinyl could start to get overexposed. Not for me, but like, it's out there, and they're, the labels are trying to saturate the market a little bit.
No, you raise a good point, because we've talked about it on the program before, the variants. Red Hot Chili Peppers had like 30 variants in their last 2 albums. I mean, to your point, it's almost like the all-you-can-eat buffets. Remember about 20, 30 years ago, man, all-you-can-eat buffets are red hot. I'm thinking for $14, you can just shove that bad Bisquick pizza. And
the bathroom lines were also big.
Bathroom lines were out the door, but it was too much. And I think Jason, I think you're raising a good point about Jose showing baseball cards about it's a little much. And I think if you go back to, was it Billie Eilish with her new album that came out this year, she publicly said, she kind of took a little bit of a jab at Taylor Swift about the number of variants. And then literally like the next week, her new album was announced, and it's got about 7 or 8 different variants. So it was a little bit of double talk, but
an a cappella version coming out on record.
Of course.
Yeah,
that's what everyone was asking for. Everyone. I know Bianco was asking for it. He was sending me private message. Have you heard anything about the a cappella? And I said, David, I don't know.
Can you buy me a couple, please?
Yes, he's like, please, I need like 3 of them. Let me read a couple comments here. The Pats Radio says vinyl records are a luxury. People are struggling, and the prices are getting insulting. I'm focusing on vintage vinyl more and more. Still spending too much. That's a fair point. We've talked about that. The pricing elasticity is also a very interesting component, because let's go back to 20, 30 years ago. I think the boomerang effect of CD pricing. Remember, CDs were getting to be like $14, $15, $18. You go to like
it was 20.
You go to your local mall retailer. A CD was like $20, and then there was a little bit of a pushback there. And obviously, it's a way of free market, right? You push it until you can't push it anymore, and then it naturally kind of bounces back. So now, Jim, Record Collector News, a fine publication. So it's available at trusted retail stores everywhere. I'm not paid to say that, but Jim is a friend of the show. He said, vinyl is over. Done. Don't bother. Might as well just send me your cool shit cheap before you can't give them away. Jim, I think that is very noble of you. I can't believe that you would be so generous to help people exit the hobby that's is behind the publication. What do you do?
That's a good question to ask. How big of a percentage would you think would evaporate in the VC if vinyl sales would plummet? Like, how much do you think would disappear? Because at least I think everybody here on the panel and a lot of people in the chat, we really love the format. And some of you guys, I was on my dad's balls in the 70s and 80s, right? But
you need to drink on that one. That's not profanity.
It's proper. But what I mean is, like, most of you have been buying for way longer than this new fad of vinyl happen again. So, what percentage of people do you think would disappear from the VC if
They
they
wouldn't
started?
disappear. They wouldn't disappear. They would rebrand as the CDC, the CD community. You know, Mazzy will be
I
showing
know the channel
CDs up
just
the
like that.
wazoo. You know,
Yeah.
Too
It's
much,
already started.
too much
It's already-
MP3s. The stores.
that's right.
Well, I wonder how many people are actually selling their vinyl in record stores, like their collections and stuff. I wonder if that's up with
Well,
record stores.
After the pandemic ended, I saw quite a bit of people that had big number Instagram accounts that were selling the whole lot. There was a guy in Australia that he had like more than 10,000 followers, and he sold every single record in his collection when the pandemic ended, because he was just doing it for that. And then he was just like, I'm not gonna collect anymore.
Well, one thing we've talked about on the show is, the bubble. When's it going to burst? And I had that one Goodwill find where actually there was like new Taylor Swift record at my local Savers, and I thought maybe this is it. Is this the tipping point? Or it could have been some teenage girl got in trouble and her mom took all her records and said, "I'm going to show you," and just took them to the local thrift, right? But there is that kind of other shoe going to drop. We've talked about the pricing. When's that shoe going to drop? And we talked about Vinyl Me Please, not to bring up a sore subject, but obviously pushing the price point up to $50 for a single record and higher. That's pretty wild. But the other shoe going to drop is what Jose was talking about. People new to vinyl in the COVID years, let's call it. Do they have the staying power? Do they have the still interest after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, especially as prices are going up? And one thing that's kind of out there in the media, and I've seen it myself, is people are back to going to more concerts. People are back to spending their money in different ways. And so some of that kind of discretionary income is kind of changing, right? In the face of inflation and higher costs and all that kind of stuff. So, David,
Yep.
I got to say, and maybe this is an observation I'm in the wrong on, the amount of new records shown on your channel, I can't say is high. Is this a deliberate thing? Or are you like, what is your approach? Is some of these things, these variables we've been talking about, dissuading you from buying new, or is it selection? Like, what are the factors involved when you're looking at new at this point?
When you say new, do you mean new bands or do you mean reissues that are new?
All the above. I'm talking about you're the first to take the shrink wrap off. Like, it's brand new. You're the first one to put the needle on it. You're the first one to hold it close to your wonderful Concert Buddy T-shirt and chest. You're numero uno. No, I didn't say groin. That Jose. See,
those are the 7-inch records. Anyway, so, for me, I'm in the analog production subscription thing with Atlantic.
Right.
So I get hit with that almost every month. So, and to be honest, a lot of those I don't even open because they're jazz, but I do open the other ones. Right. For me, as far as new reissues go, I'm definitely much more choosy, I guess, on what I get. I think I've slowed down quite a bit. But after a while, part of the issue is your grail list gets shorter. I mean, a lot of things, change in that way. And I think for me, I'm definitely looking more at things now to do shootouts with. I've got a backlog of shootouts to do. So, that's really kind of where my interest is starting to subside in terms of anything that's new. It's got to be, like Michael Jackson Off the Wall. I really like that album. I'm going to get the MoFi of it because, I would get it whether I had a channel or not. But there aren't a lot of titles coming out that interest me.
So
like the last couple Rhinos were duds for me.
No, you raise a great point because I saw it earlier in the chat, curation. And obviously a lot goes into that, availability, licensing, who owns what, all that kind of stuff. But it seems to be a growing murmur of, man, they literally just repressed that. I mean, talking about the Atlantic 75, we got this Doors box set coming out now. They just put out the UHQR of LA Woman. Oh, here it's in the box set. So it's almost like a doorknob. Everybody's taking a turn in the same calendar year on these same titles. And so,
wait, are you talking about the sold out UHQR LA woman.
That Jose, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you have one for sale? I smell something. What's going on here?
No, I don't have any for sale.
All right. Funny, good stuff. So Rojas, what do you think about the curation aspect? Because like David said, like depending on where you are, you've been doing this for 30 years. You've got about all. I mean, there's always stuff you can still find. You can always go down a different path. You can always get into 45s, like you kind of pushed me in front of the bus on that one. Where do you find as somebody who's been doing this for so long, like how do you feel that the labels are feeding your need, or are they not at all? Are they just kind
They're
of
not. They're
okay,
not.
all
I'm
right,
going
so
on a different approach. Like more interested. I mean, there is new music that I buy, right? Which that's part of question too, right?
yeah,
But I'm doing more like originals and seeing if I can get a good deal. As you know, I'm a very patient person, so I'll wait it out, and like look at the trends of that, or that original. So I'm going on an opposite path, but we'll still buy, new records to support, that new artist if their album is good.
Well, it's funny you said that because it's time for the cheap plug alert, Jason. We didn't work it out this way, but if you're familiar with the artist Louis Golden and his project Sharon is Karen, here in the vinyl community, you may have heard this, and I had it all queued up. I've totally botched this. So, Louis, if you're hearing this, I'm totally dropping. Yeah, Jose, you just said it. I fucked up. There's no other way to say it. But if you go to Bandcamp right now, Sharon is Karen. Get you some Louis.
Bandcamp.
No, Bandcamp. No, Jose, you hit it right on the head. It's a great album, and it's on vinyl, which makes people happy. So support local artists. Louis Golden, Sharon is Karen. I don't know, Jose, what are you doing with that ruler? I think I'm gonna make you big because
it was gonna fall, so I catched it.
I mean, it looked like you were playing like a flute for a second with the ruler. So I don't know what to say about that. So new Jason.
Yeah.
All this information, obviously, at where you're at in your respective collecting stage. Are you changing your approach at all? Because obviously we talked about all these things, price, curation, all that stuff. So tell me about like how you're changing how you collect records now.
I'm kind of like taking your approach, Chance. I'm kind of like trying to
Don't do that. Don't do it. I've got so many enemies, Jason. You don't.
Oh no. But I mean, like, meaning that instead of getting like a reissue, like I'm going for like the OG original type thing. I'm a big '90s collector and trying to get some of those grunge grails off the list. And I'm like, okay, can I spend $50 or can I use $50 on an original pressing that I can save a little bit more for? Or it's more new music is kind of like where I'm at. Of course, like your UHQRs that come out, if there's a really good one, like the Stone Temple Pilots really appealed to me and things like that. But I'm kind of taking that approach where vinyl prices are is like, okay, I'm spending $50-$60 for another 100. I can get the OG, and that's kind of like where I'm at.
That's good. I like it because you know what, you're taking the bread out of my mouth, my big mouth, because that's it for if you're just doing a cost benefit analysis. Like I saw some people talking about like how to make your dollar go farther. Robert Fithen, matter of fact, credit where credit's due, Robert Fithen did a video on this topic today. So I would highly recommend you check it out. He had some thoughts on it, and he kind of talks about some of these same points because there is a thrill of having, let's call it $30 and going into your local and coming out with, used to be a stack of records. Now it's maybe you can get, and talk about used, maybe you can get a handful of records, or you can just get a record that's brand new and you get it home and maybe it's got a QC issue or maybe, it's just not up to snuff. So I think that kind of dampens the spirit. The other thing too is like Jose was saying, that all the people new to vinyl or came into the hobby the last couple of years, they opened up all these pressing plants. And David knows a lot about this. So capacity was an issue. Now it's no longer an issue. But the prices are still the same, right? So that's usually when you have competition, usually the basic economics is competition creates value depredation, and then you get, cheaper prices. Doesn't seem to be happening just yet. Have you noticed, Jose? Have you noticed this at all?
Actually, I wanted to say that I just learned like a week and a half ago that there's a new vinyl pressing plant in Mexico it's owned by a German company, where for example, I can't make like send anything to get pressed. It's only for like big labels. So if you see a record now, because I saw on a store, I saw a Nick Drake record. It says made in Mexico. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, where did they make this? So there's a German-owned pressing plant in Guadalajara that they just
Like you
opened.
said that, I would have messed that up, Jose. Thank you.
Guadalajara.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the charros are, you know.
Yeah.
That's with the big sombreros. But what was your question? Sorry, I just wanted to.
No, I know, Jose. You took my question, you crumpled it up into paper, and then you wiped your ass with it. It's okay. It's
Yes.
okay. It's gonna happen. It's not a big deal. I'm not
No,
offended.
what was the question? Sorry.
Honestly, I don't even remember. Once you said Guadalajara and made that tongue roll, you just lost me. So
Nobody. What was your question?
Well, I literally forgot it now. You totally just.
Well, if you were asking me the same thing as them, I will say that I bought more records, like I said before, this year than I did last year, and I've also added more to my want list. And for example, right now I have 1,500 records on my want list on this. I don't know how many.
Around single-handedly keeping the hobby alive.
No, but it's for real. Like for example, today I got 3 grails in my collection, and I'm extremely happy about it. But like I don't like the stuff that I'm collecting that I've collected this year are stuff that it's just like I feel like next year it's gonna be harder to find, more expensive to get. So as a record collector, my advice to people is always like look ahead, because for example, I'll give a one that I like you, Chance, my thing. Like you got tripod, Alice in Chains tripod. You have an original one. You bought one, right? Right. So for example, yeah, I would say that's smart because next year it's gonna get reissued. They announced it, right?
Allegedly. This is one of the great myths for the last 5 years. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, but if it sounds like absolute garbage, it doesn't matter, because even if it sounds good, I think more people are gonna want the original one. You know what I mean? So it's like, as a record collector, you also have to look ahead. It's great that you're getting like new versions of the record you love, but it's also good to look ahead and be like, oh look, this record hasn't been pressed in such a long time, or try to get it before it gets reissued and becomes harder to get. Or
what you're talking about, Jose, is like next level stuff. And I think for the most part, people watch our show and we interact with a lot, or kind of that same ilk. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the pie, but it's not the full recipe. And to your point, like I just ran into this at the Noble sale. I'm sure everyone saw that wonderful video I did. So I don't want to rehash it too much, but I went into that experience locked in on Nirvana Bleach, the 1B pressing, and I was there. I was going to do it. And then I saw they had that Zombies. Yeah, and then I was like, I've never seen one before. It was like, it was glowing. I could see it.
It was the time of the season for that.
It was. And I was like, you know what? This is exactly what Jose is talking about. Then it becomes can I find Nirvana Bleach somewhere else? Yes. Will I find it somewhere else? Probably. Will I find that Zombies record in that condition? It's possible. If I was as astute and hunter like Jason Rojas, I'd probably find it, but I'm not. I'm slowing down. I'm not on my hands and knees looking at those 45s without the pictures, right? I need them. So to that point, yeah, Jose, there is a kind of, I wouldn't say sophistication, but just more of a maturation of how you want to spend your money and what you want to bring into the collection. So I think it's a very, very fair point. And here's a perfect. So Kendall was there. The Nirvana Bleach is still there. See? So in hindsight, I hate to pat myself on the back, but I'm totally gonna pat myself on the back because the Zombies record would not have been there. So anyway, well, I think the bubble hasn't burst, but there are signs, and it'll be interesting, especially at the end of the year. Let's see how the holiday season plays out, because then if that 6.2% number goes up, I think it'll be very telling. Or if it goes down and then at the year closes at 3%. So I don't know. We'll see. We have beat the hell out of this topic. Now, I got to answer this from Kimbo. The Nirvana did not have the poster. I know that's exactly the most important thing of record.
Right. The record. Forget the record. The white
Forget
vinyl.
the record.
No way.
Forget the. It's funny he says that. Side note: one of my locals had Black Sabbath Master of Reality, and which I already have, Green Label, all that stuff. But it had the poster, and I thought about it because I don't have the stupid little poster. Anyway, I digress. All
Hey,
right.
one quick thing, Chance, to put a bow on this.
Let's do it.
I wanted to mention that in the Dallas area, there's 3 stores called NTX Vinyl where G.I. Sanders had went into these paint tree kind of,
Yeah.
where people have booths and that kind of thing, flea market kind of. He had 3 nice setups, but he's closing them all here at the end of the month and doing online, whatnot, and strictly that just because of the overhead and the work it takes to physically, do that versus the return on time and investment. So
That's a really good point because I've been to a couple of his locations down there, and yeah, he's like, I think the business model is he pays rent to have a booth. Like you said, it's like a craft, it's like an artisan type of commune.
Yep, right.
We actually have one up the road, Painted Tree. And yeah, I found it very interesting that literally shuttering all 3. Now he did just have some shoplifters. I saw that he went hard after some shoplifting. He was. If you're not in the NTX Facebook group, just join just to read that post because he was ready to kill somebody. He was ready to kill these children who were stealing his records. But yeah, but it's a fair point David's making because if you have somebody like that who's shifting and evolving his business model to be all whatnot, all through a website. Does he have a website? I don't recall.
Yep.
I know. So he's basically going to do fulfillment out of his house, I imagine, because to David's point, when you have overhead and those costs going up, and it's an interesting time. You got to. It's Mark Parker of Nike used to have this saying called "adapt or die," and it's true. And I think that maybe this is one of the.
And you got to know he's there. He's way in the back. You know what I mean? It's not like you walk in and go, "Oh, those primo spots. There's vinyl." Well, he doesn't have a primo spot,
Right, a Cadillac spot. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. So we have officially put a bow in this one. David even said it. Let's have a little fun. And if you've been watching Surface Noise, you notice that Spins Vinyl, Jason, tertiary Jason, another Jason, he's done an excellent job of having these games. And I'm not trying to do games for the sake of doing games, but I kind of am. But it kind of inspired me to have this next one. And Jose, to his credit, Jose, week after week, has been throwing this kind of idea out, and I've just been pooping on it. What was it? Well, Jose forgot because he just gave up. He just got tired. He got tired of throwing it up in the notes. But it was basically like Jose's idea was talk about a record that you own that would shock people, or they would be very surprised, right? So along those lines, we're gonna go around the dais, and I want you to say, and this is like we're in a cult. I can't believe I'm saying this, but now this can be about a record you bought or have that would blow people's minds. It could be an unpopular take, which I know Jason's is full of them. He's got a whole notebook of things that will just make the masses cry. It could be something about I've sworn off buying Metallica records. It could be something like that, right? So in the spirit of that, I'm going to kick it off just as an example, and I'm going to make myself big because I know people are just going to the Bleach Brothers. There's the Beach Boys, and then there's the Bleach Boys. My fans who just can't get enough Clorox martinis. I got one for you. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I bought a record once at Piranha Records near Jason Rojas of somebody who was in the Facts of Life, and her name is Lisa Welchel, and it's still sealed.
That's awesome.
And I know I'm taking offers on this. It's the classic "All Because of You." All because of you.
That's a sexual buy, by the way.
This was an $8 steal. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I own a record, not from Tootie, not from Natalie, and not from Joe, and definitely not from George Clooney. I believe her name was Blair on the presentation. This is Lisa Welchel, and I dare you, I double, triple dog dare any collector in the gallery, as Eddie Perez so eloquently puts it, she was hot, who has this. And Spins Vinyl, I knew it. I spoke your name into existence. He said, sealed, you should have that graded. I think that whatever grading service had this would probably keep it. I think they would steal it from me because this is so hot. This is so rare. Oh, Jason, it gave Jason instant
Diarrhea.
issues.
Have you checked if Bernie Grumman mastered that or not?
Let me see the mastering chain. It says also available in high quality cassette. Hard to believe. Let's see. It's the powerful label Sparrow Records.
That's Christian.
Oh, is
It's
it? Okay. So maybe it's a Christian record. Oh,
It is.
Nisi
Sparrow.
Records, and produced by, get ready, hold your armpits, John Rosacco. It's almost like Rojas. It's Rosasco. So Jason, this may be a relative of yours. I don't know.
It's actually me. I basically used my
Son of a bitch. I knew
DeLorean
it.
to time machine and master and produce that record, you know.
Unbelievable. See, okay, now people are saying, this makes sense. Oh, of course, Patrick met Lisa Welchel. What was this? What gas station was this, Patrick? And did you change your tires? Like, what happened here?
That sounds sexual. That sounds sexual as fuck.
Secretary of Columbia, Santa Maria.
Oh, yeah. We met at the Pittman pressing plant, and it was a wonderful experience. She handed me some sugar, and it was terrific. So that's the spirit of this exercise. Who would like to go next? And I can't believe I'm saying this, but
I'll go.
all right, new Jason, I'm making you big.
All right. So when I was early in my vinyl journey, I was at a show and I had to get some air supply early on, and either you get those songs stuck in your head of like they're all out of love and all of that, and I bit the bullet and bought some air supply records.
Now, new Jason, that's pretty tame. I think a third of our audience would be
Okay.
like, yeah,
Well,
great buy. I want you to shock us. There's got to be something.
Well, I have. Let's see. What else did I pull? There's one. You know how you listen to a thing on Apple Music and they'll give you a recommended song.
Yes.
So I was listening to Herbie Hancock, one of his funk albums, and I got Bohannon Dance Your Ass Off, and it's just a freaking song that will get stuck in your head. That is hilarious.
Did you chase this down online, or did you have the
No,
pleasure?
I actually went into a bargain bin and found it for like $2. So
Tremendous. That's the spirit of what it's all about.
Yeah.
I like it, guys. All right. Who would like to? Jose's combing his hair like the Fonz. Jose, you want to go or?
Well, I'm not prepared, but
I'll go. Let
All right, Jason Rojas, save the day, please, Jason. Here we go. Boom.
As people know, well, if you don't know, I'm into pop music, right? So this is Midnights with Taylor Swift smoking a bowl or, lighting up or something, I love, again, this is mastered well, right? Ryan K. Smith did it. There we go. Some other ones, right? Charlie XCX, Brat. This is a great pop record that came out this year, If you're not buying any, Tone Poets, this is a great record, This is not supposed to be here. I don't know why this is here. We'll put it down. Chappell Roan, celebrating her 1-year anniversary. I mean, who does that,
Yeah.
And Jose's favorite, Miss Jugs. Katy Perry.
Whoa.
Whoa.
that's Mrs. What's his name?
Mrs. Orlando Bloom.
That's
right.
Mrs.
And
Orlando Bloom.
this record,
For you.
mastered by Bernie Grundman himself.
For
You know,
real?
I would buy the record, keep it in the shelf, never listening to it my whole life. And I hope you guys do too.
We put this high up. Let's just put it high up.
No.
Don't obstruct it when you get back in your normal position, Jason, because we need people to be equally jealous and scared that she's coming out of looks like a whale's vagina. Is that what she's literally popping out of in the album cover?
Oh my gosh! Come on now.
I don't even know what.
She's popping out for a bad record, right? Come on.
Well, she was due because she had a lot of,
And you.
hits. Zeprosa is terrible. I think that's fair. That's a fair one.
Well, I don't have anything I regret getting.
Jose, you're literally killing the segment. Bianco, please save the day.
Okay, I've got one.
Wait. Can I show my favorite merch by any band?
Hang on. Yeah, hurry up. Okay, what is this?
This is a hot sauce by Shushu.
Okay.
My one of my favorite bands. They it's
Is that
pretty
a
good.
record cleaner or?
No, it's number 138, first edition 38.
Wow.
So if you collect hot sauces from record labels, this one's pretty good. All right, that's it.
Jose. Well, hang on. Mark Glassman is here. Mark Glassman has Jose. I just got tickets for Tinder Sticks in Toronto in April.
Hit me up because I was going to go visit my sister in Europe, and they're playing there, and I want they're doing an exclusive tour edition live album that they're putting in their merch. So if anybody can hook me up,
All right.
I'll bless you. I'll bless you.
Jose's got papal powers at this point. All right, David.
Yeah.
Let's get.
I am the fucking Pope. Right there.
All right. So, David, what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but David, what do you respond?
Well, back in the mid 70s, I was in radio, and one of the things I did was imitations on air. And so back in the day, we didn't have the internet and all these things. So we had to go find our material on record so that I could get to learn voices. And so this is one of my favorites, McGilla Gorilla. We did a lot of Hanna-Barbera characters. So
Nice.
Wow.
this guy was like, "Gee, Mr. Peebles, where's the bananas?" And that was him. And then there was a guy used to say, "Heavens to Megatroid, it's stage left even. I'm Snagglepuss." Yeah, those kind of things. So that's when I was collecting records for my job at the time.
David, I feel jealous because your kids must have had a great upbringing of you doing all these voices and characters, especially around the dinner table. I could see that being a real hoot. I like it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, we got one more topic since we kind of went through that one pretty quick. I want to shout out Alex over at Beer and Vinyl real quick. He says, "What's up, buddy?" and all. Just got back from an album release party. Oh, he's humble bragging. Album release party for the latest Kelly Finnegan, the Monophonics record, which gets released tomorrow. Incredible Soul. He was outstanding. All right. That's good. I like it. And I'm going to write it down and check it out because that's what I do. All right. So final segment. Let me write this one down. Kelly Finnegan. I like it. All right. So the last segment for the podcast specific part of the presentation. Stick around, obviously freestyle. You know how it goes. You've been around. 80-something people here. Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys all rock. Even the Bleach boys who I know are watching and their tidy whities, I want to shout you out too because you're part of the 85. Appreciate you. Hide that comment to the last segment, and this could be a real disaster. I'm just going to say it now. This could be a real bad one. I'm going to go around. I'm going to read a couple names, and it's called Record Store or Vape Store. And I don't know if you noticed this, but obviously the national obsession with vinyl can only be matched by the same excitement for vaping. And so there's some really creative names. There's creative names of record stores, and there's creative names of vape shops. So I'm going to go around a couple rounds. I'm going to read you some of these wonderful names. So Bianca, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to read your name.
Okay.
And your answer will be either it's a vape shop, it's a record store, or it's both. Because, sometimes you go to a record store and they got records and they call them head shops. They got the smoking and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start with you, David, because I know you're a big smoker. So I'm gonna give you an easy one. Bucket O Blood, Chicago, Illinois.
Bucket O Blood.
Yes. And Vance is in the gallery. Vance, you cannot answer this one. No tips.
Bucket o' blood. Well, I'm going to say that's a vape shop.
I'm sorry, David. That's a record store in Chicago, Illinois.
Wow.
I just
Mm.
that was the wrong one. Oh no, I got repeat on.
Oh, well.
All right. So nice try. So
That's
do you guys
whiskey
get the
metal.
spirit? Do you get the spirit of what we're trying to do here? We're going to lose viewers. I know it's going to happen, but I thought it'd be fun. So Jose Moreno Ron, are you ready for record store or vape store?
That's what I was brought here on Earth to do.
All right, Jose, in Ayer, Massachusetts, there is a wonderful store called
Ayer.
Digital Clouds, Clouds with a Z. Is it a vape store, a record store, or both?
Say it again. Needle clouds.
Digital
Oh, digital clouds.
Clouds with a Z. Digital Clouds.
I'm between both or just the vape.
You got to pick one. This isn't. You can't grandstand. You got to pick one.
I'm gonna go with both.
Jose, I'm sorry. It's just simply a vape store. It is only about the vape. I can't believe.
Well, the digital part was
yeah. See, so I tried to have like a little bit of kind of thought to this, and obviously Rojas knows a lot of these record stores, so I got to throw a real tough ones. New Jason.
Yeah.
Arguably the best name I've probably ever heard of any store. And I'm sorry, this may offend. Gotta be a pizza place. Actually, John Bainey, that's actually a good. That would have well, pizza places are pretty predictable. There have been like an Italian name or have Hut in there or something like that. All right, so let's go New Jason. If I said vape store, record store, or both, and I give you the name Magnolia Thunderpussy, New Jason, what do you say?
Magnolia Thunderpussy. I would probably go, man. Let's go with Vape Store. I don't know.
Jason Rojas, would you like to give me the answer? This is in Columbus, Ohio, your old stomping grounds.
It's a record store.
I was going to say that, but it's, I don't know.
Well, in fairness, I think it's both because the last time I was there was a lot of pipes. There was a lot of paraphernalia. So I had it in the both.
I was going to go with both.
Both.
Could go.
It's Jason's Columbus store. So I want Jason to weigh in. Is this Rojas? Would you say both or would you say it's more record store?
Record store.
All right. We'll put it on the record store. All right. All right. Now, Rojas, I'm going to stump you. Some of these names are amazing. They're just so good. And this is a real store name in Walla Walla, Washington. So my Washington buddies, please don't give us one. The store is called literally Hot Poop. Hot Poop. Is it a vape store, a record store, or both store?
I would say, consulting my Fremer Fro here, we will say vape store.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jason. It is an actual record store.
Oh, Fremer, you were wrong. 2 out of
But I think they only sell Fremer records there, right?
Yeah, I think the Fremer record it's like the Herb Alpert whipped cream. They got it just all over the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Hot Poop is a good band.
I mean, I think it's just a terrific name.
Yeah.
However you get there. All right, let's do another round of this one because we're bleeding viewers left and right. Actually, Kimbo's right. Strip joint would have been a nice. Maybe we'll add that into. This is an evolving segment, so we'll continue to make this grow. But
Concert buddy, why don't you give one to the peanut gallery?
That's fair. And this is an easy one. Well, maybe it's not an easy one. This is a good one though. We don't have any Arizonans in the crowd, do we? Because you would argue.
Yep.
So yes, AZ Mick, Arizona. So if you're an Arizonan, stick out of this one. Don't give it away. This is a good one.
The In Groove. No, sorry.
Yeah.
If I said stinkweeds, is this a record store, a vape/smoke store, or both? Stinkweeds, Peanut Gallery. I'm leaning on you. And there's literally no one answering. So Dave, this might have been the segment killer. I don't know. Anyway, Bueller. All right, we've got one vote. All right, good. Here we go. Record store. We got a couple. So Kimbo says vape. All right, we got Terry. I will go with both. Okay, now we've got some very diverse answers. I like this. People
I
saw
record
both and a tattoo parlor. All right, fair. Frank, Mr. Sticker Mania, record store. All right. I'm sorry to say that Stinkweeds is a record store. Stinkweeds. Unbelievable.
Hey, but for real, do you think they name it because of this record, Hot Poop?
Jose's mind's been melted since I brought up that there was literally a store called Hot Poop in Walla, Washington. Unbelievable. Now, I think Easy Now 27 speaks for so many when they say
cover
is period. This period is certain period. This is certainly riveting.
Shit color Brino.
So, Vance, I don't think I could have found a female waxing shop. That would have probably thrown off a lot of the. All right, let's do one more round before we literally destroy the branding and the social equity we built in this. Bianca, I'll start with you again.
Okay.
In Santa Monica, Los Angeles area.
Who lives there?
Your old stomping grounds, David. I know you and Stevie Nicks would sometimes go to Moon Shadows up in Malibu, have some wonderful drinks. And then you would stop by an establishment called Pink Lion. Pink Lion. David, was that a vape store, a record store, or we have got both store?
I'm going to say a vape store.
Bingo. Yes, let's go, Vape Daddy.
Because I never heard Rob talk about it, so I figured it wasn't a record store. Deductive logic.
Excellent. I like it. All right. Jose, Moreno, Ron. I should have used Hot Poop on you. That would have been the one.
Yeah, you fucked up.
All right.
They're rolling shit in there. So one guy is doing the thing, and then the other guys are serving it, and then one guy's stoned there.
It's the back of a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Chipotle. All right, go ahead.
Oh, man. All right. Jose, vape store, record store, or both. I've got one for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Culture Shock in Rockford, Illinois.
Record store.
Yes. Nice. Look at that. We did it. There you go. Well done. I'm about 30 seconds behind on the sound effect, but hey, this is a free presentation, so you get what you pay for, folks. All right, new Jason. I got one for you.
Rojas?
No, this is new Jason. We'll go to
New
old
Jason. Okay.
Old Jason's about to split, so we got to wrap this up quick. So, new Jason, if I said electric fetus, would you say it's a vape store, a record store, or a both store?
Well, I haven't really heard both yet. Let's go with both.
Rojas, you've been to this establishment. How would you answer this one?
This is Prince's favorite record store.
That's right. Prince's favorite record store. All right, and Jason Rojas is literally about to run out on our punk asses. I got one for you, Jason. I'm going to try to stump you. It's going to be a good one. Are you ready for this? In Kansas City, Missouri, there's an establishment called Seventh Heaven, not to be confused with the WB show of the same name. Jason, is it a vape store? Is it a record store? Or do they sell both?
Let's go with both.
Coming in clutch. He's done it, folks. He's on his way to go see Soul Asylum with only one guy. only the lead singer. That's how everyone likes to see a band, with only the lead singer.
Thanks for having me on concert, buddy. I'll catch you guys.
Great to see you, Jason.
See you, Jason.
Enjoy the show, sir. Thank you. And that's going to conclude this horrible segment that we may never try again. A professor is here. Prof, I'm sorry. I know you pop in and out when you can. We brought this segment in, and it was probably a dumpster fire. Richard S. says Electric Fetus is a fantastic store. Now, this is a good. Spins Vinyl, vape or record store. Amoeba. That's a fair call out because I believe they sell some of the smoking apparatus. It's not something I'm looking to buy there, but oh my God. I think the worst comment of the night, that should have been the booby prize. The most obtuse comment is this one from Vance. I'm not even going to read it. It just says, yeah. Wow. So we have brought this out of our viewers. We have brought, actually, David, Toad Hall, that was on my list. I see he popped in Toad Hall. I didn't read it.
Yep.
It's also in Rockford, Illinois. What Nick? Nick is his name. Nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
So we're going to continue to workshop that idea, but I appreciate everybody. Yep, Amoeba spot. Yeah, I figured I knew the one in Berkeley did. I did the Amoeba Triangle once. A good one. As somebody who's met Coffee Dave, records or pot, I think all the above for Coffee Dave. I've met him. Nice guy. But anyway,
it's a great strategy, right? Everybody's high buying records.
Yeah.
Buy too much.
Sales are up, man. Sales are up.
Patrick, I'm going to save this one. Actually, this is going to be a nice we'll have this conversation in the freestyle. I love this question, so I'm not going to give it away in the pod. The pod, just for those who are uninitiated, first of all, a nice review would be fantastic if you go to a good old Apple iTunes or you go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a nice review. Would love it. But we do the podcast, which will come out after this presentation. You can hear it tomorrow if you missed some of this or if you love listening to our angelic voices in the car. And then we do put the freestyle early next week. So, again, more consumption of this now heinous presentation that we have just literally crashed into a brick building. But I want to thank my guests. Jose, were you going to say something?
Can you highlight Cesar's finish it off?
It says, this segment indeed suck. He didn't even say sucked. It's past. He just says sucks. So,
well, he's bilingual. He has a free pass. You know.
He does have a free pass. He does. I'm a gringo, so I'm the last person who should be saying anybody said something wrong. Anyway, thank my guests. Returning champion for this week, David Bianco. David, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Jose Moreno Ron, are you smoking a pipe? I can't believe you're going to. He's got a pipe like Sherlock.
It's a nice looking pipe.
Sherlock Ombre. That's a nice pipe. That's a great pipe. And then,
so the
off. Drop the Needle Records is the channel. New Jason, as we call him affectionately. Jason, it's a pleasure having you on the show, sir.
Oh, thanks for having me, bud.
My pleasure. All right. So now I've got to do all this kind of stuff. Let's go here, and then we're going to switch the background to that. And then boom, boom. All right. Freestyle. So, Patrick, that's actually a great idea. And maybe we'll kick the freestyle off this way. Let me let up our special guest for the freestyle. If you caught the B-side last week, he made his Surface Noise debut. This is Chris. Chris, welcome to the A-side. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Chance, nice to speak with you. Nice to meet everybody. Excited to hang tonight.
Same. I hope we didn't scare you with the absurdity of the last segment, because it was potentially a hall of shame moment for this program. We'll see how it goes.
I was locked in. I was prepared.
That is the right answer. That is the right answer. Prof, yes, we got you. Freestyle coming at you. Oh, BK is here. BK, you were Breakfast King of Loyola was up in Portland area. If I cyber stalked you accordingly, I saw on your social media feed you're up there. How was the records up there? Spins vinyl.
I think Jason Spence calling me fat as fuck. That's what he's doing.
Well, I was just about to read this comment. He says, Jose looking like a young Orson Welles with that pipe. Now, I don't know if that's a compliment or...
I think he's calling me fat. I think he is.
Uh-oh. And look, New Chris ran. New Chris could not take the Orson Welles diss, and he straight up left. So
he died. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me hang on. So we send the link behind the scenes now. Let me email it over to you. Hold on 1 second if you want to join.
Can you send it to Mazzy? Because he's probably like waiting for it anyway.
Hey, listen, I'm all about sending out the link. We had to quit sending out in the public way because we got a couple of jabronis coming in, messing up things, saying some unsavory stuff. And so we are a democracy. We took a show vote and we said, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. So if you'd like to join the freestyle open line, let me know, especially if we're connected on social media, i.e. Instagram. I can send you the link that way. So Dawson, I know I have your email. Let me send you an email real quick, and then we'll get into that. But as I do that, Patrick, PB Thal, the Ripmaster General, had a great, I'm going to steal this topic, Patrick. Hope that's okay. Most overrated record store.
And he already answered his own.
Well, yeah, he already answered his. I mean, this was a loaded question. He just wanted to say he hates Amoeba, and that's fine. No big deal. But I'll start with you, Florida man, Mr. New Jason. In your experience, what is the most overrated record store. I'll make you like this while I.
Absolutely. So I'm originally from Indiana, and my family, some of my family lives in Northwest. So I go to Chicago sometimes, and I gotta say, I mean, several times I've been into Reckless Records, and I've been disappointed each time I've been in there. They're always rated like the best, and they don't really have rare stuff that I'm looking for. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've crapped out every time I've gone.
Have you gone to all the locations? Because I know
I
some of
have.
them.
I've gone to several. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones I went to. Some around the Wrigley Field area. I've done
That's, I
better.
believe Belmont. Yeah, Belmont was that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember, but the ones around there, I did much better than Reckless.
All right. Well, Chris, new to the freestyle, how would you answer this one? If I said most overrated record store, you got one lined up in the chamber? Hit us.
It's tough to say. I mean, the ones that I would say are overrated are gone already in the New York area. So
Okay.
a lot of stuff has popped up in like these small tourist type towns, like weekend warrior towns. They come up and you walk in and everything's overpriced and beat up and they don't really last long. So they're not even in existence anymore, but I've definitely seen some horror stories where I live.
There's a New York one that I hate, but I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's Village Revival. You know that one?
That's down on 8th Street, I think. I've never been there. I know he's got a big social media following, but
I don't know if it's that one, but it's in Greenwich Village.
yeah, that's the one. I've never been there.
It's interesting. New Jason, you opened up a wound because we're getting a lot of people.
I know.
Taking a giant shit all over Reckless, and I know Vance was there. Vance's local spot. Let's see. I got to give everyone equal play. First of all, Caesar is right. Give the show a like. It's free. All you do is click. It's the same effort as to tell us we suck. Just hit that like button if you don't mind. Thank you. Terry does say it depends on the Reckless location. So that's
I mean, I've been 3 times and I haven't walked out with a ton.
So Vinyl and Fix 86. I've seen this name a couple places, so I just gave them a moderator link. Reckless online shop has been hot trash in my experience, and it's funny you said that because I used to buy so many records through their website, and then they just gave up. Like during COVID, they did like you can see what their inventory, so it's like an inventory tracker now. But man, I spent so much money with Reckless online over the years, and then they just completely like abandon it. I don't really. They said it would come back after COVID, and it never really did. But yeah, Terry says Wicker Park. Wicker Park's like one of my favorite spots because you get Reckless, you get Sugar Records, you get.
That's the location I'm thinking of. Chance is that.
Oh, Wicker Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Dusty Groove, you get right off of Ashland. It is, and
those
then,
2 other locations, Sugar and Dusty Groove, I've really hit hard there.
Now there's a new spot there. Oh gosh, why am I blanking? It's not Siren. Me and Kimbo, what was the name of that spot we went to? And I'm drawing a blank on the name. But they have 2 locations. It started with an S. But anyway, that spot was like new, and it's very interesting that they would go to an area that has literally 3 pretty solid spots. But anyway, I enjoy the Chicago record scene. Tom, High Rant District is here. He says the most overrated quote record store is Record Store Day. Tom, my man. I jokingly call him Mr. Planters because he is by far the saltiest guy I know. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it, my man. Love it. All right. David Bianco, you've been to a lot of record stores. Like, what would you consider like an overrated record store? And don't say the one that I made you meet up with me in St. Louis because we had a fun time.
Yeah, no, that was fine. I'd say for me, it's Cactus Records in Houston.
Cactus Records, and why did you find that it was overrated?
Well, I had heard they had a really good used selection, and it seemed to me that they had a new selection was good, but I thought the used was really weak, and I've been there twice. I kind of first time it was like, okay, maybe it's a bad week, and a year later I went back and it was actually worse. So just I judge most record stores by their used record content.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that for me that was a disappointment.
Now, David, you'll appreciate this joke. Professor CJ says, "Is Cactus an excursion of an experience?"
It's an excursion I wouldn't take again.
You,
I'm
is
going to
that
be
you?
there this weekend, and I'm definitely not going there.
Isn't there that store Sound Revolution? Aren't they in Houston? Is that
Yeah.
a good spot? Is that better than Cactus? Would
Yeah,
you say?
yeah.
I've been to Cactus.
So Breakfast King of Loyola, Zia Records, that's in Arizona, and I think in Las Vegas. I have never been, but I've heard it is like way overrated. I bought a couple online things from them, I think, but
They release records.
yeah, they do like color variants and stuff like that. They have enough buying power. I don't know if you guys ever saw the morning show that one time that In-Groove Mike was on there, and somebody asked him in the gallery, like, "What's your competition in Phoenix area?" And he goes, "There is no competition," which I was like, "Yeah, throw it on the table, Mike." He just threw it straight on the table. But then I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, there's Zia's, which I bought some stuff online. And then there's obviously our new favorite record store, Stinkweeds. We just learned about Stinkweed that is impressive as hell. So,
Well, Walmart is probably his biggest competition.
Walmart.
Well, for real, it's like
on volume.
You can use the bathroom at Walmart, though.
You can.
I mean, no, but I mean, it's seriously like I think record stores in the back of their mind are always thinking like Amazon and Walmart, because I would say like 80% of people that walk into a record store, like they probably want very common stuff, Dark Side of the Moon, Rumors,
Sure.
The fucking Sound of Music soundtrack.
The Muppet movie soundtrack. Yeah, I mean, the Muppet movie is
Muppet in Space. If there is a vinyl version of Muppets Treasure Island, please send it my way. Thanks.
Jose is panhandling for records, so please, if you run across that record,
If
Dawson,
somebody knows.
Hey,
Yeah.
hang on. You get your audio lined up.
check, 1, 2.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you still got around the echo.
A little bit of echo.
Yeah, when I talk.
Okay.
Hello.
I'll try one more time.
Shut down the YouTube stream of it.
I hoard copies of Fiddler on the
Okay. I'll have to go on another time.
Okay, no worries. Good to see you. Almost.
Okay. Yeah, adios.
All right, bye-bye.
That was quick and easy.
That is the quickest appearance. That is the quickest appearance in the history of the presentation. Dawson now has the record. He's at the top of the food chain of, we'd say, 90 seconds. That was going.
Not that.
All right. Now, the gallery's come alive. The gallery was not alive for the Vape Store segment, but boy, oh boy, we've got
Nobody
real opinions. And I'm going to read some opinions. Now, as they say on television, the opinions expressed by the Peanut Gallery of Service Noise is not reflective on the hosts. This is just simply me reading the news, so to speak. But let's get a couple of these. Kimbo says Rasputin in Berkeley overrated. Yes, I agree with that. I've been there. I prefer the Amoeba there every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Cesar says Fingerprints Music in Long Beach. I've never found much there. I've been there. It's okay. Now, hang on a second. Patrick, you can't change the topic. This is like Roddy Piper. Just when you know the answers, I change the questions. It says, but how about overrated, underrated cities to buy records? That's actually, we'll
That's a good one.
I tell you what, Patrick, I'm going to give you co-producing credits for this week's presentation because you're coming in with some fire topics. I like it. Now, BK's got one. Now, this one, Lori's Planet of Sound is cool in Chicago. I used to be able to say I agree with that, but the last 2 times I've went in there, it's like the Mojave Desert. It's dry for used records. So it's a neat little place. There's actually a really cool, really cool toy.
What are you looking for that's not here? Because I'll say 99.9% of the records I'm looking for are in no fucking record store anywhere in the fucking planet. So
Jose's now throwing his donger on the table like Mike Ingram at that time.
No, I'm real. Like,
Final appetite cannot be quenched by your.
like I consider you my Discogs.
You just said it's got 1,500. I mean, I think it's got every record ever.
And none of them are. There's not a single fucking Elton John one. So
I like it. So Terry, I've never been to this one. Terry says Logan Hardware was a great record store in Chicago, but it closed. Okay, yeah. There was also Dave's Records, which I went to a couple times. That was it was okay. It was a cool little like tiny spot. But yeah. Let's see here. Mr. Anderson. New Traders Vinyl Visits. NTX says they're going to still sell online. Yeah, we talked about that. I kind of agree with this one. Most overrated shop, Sub Pop. Great label, but the retail presence is kind of just like a tourist kind of.
Well, it's like, I guess in the U.S., rough trade, it's kind of shit.
Yeah,
it used to be really good. It used to be really good, but the new location is really small. It's sort of like, it looks like that pop-up what is it? A pop-up store. It just looks like that, like a pop-up store. They have a lot of traffic because, you know, people go to the Rockefeller Plaza. But the old location used to be really fucking good. I watched a lot of great shows there. They had a ton of I still have my records with the sticker with the little caption on them and all that. And I bought a bunch of records since back in 2012. I was buying records from them, good pricing, good used records. But right now, it's not. They're probably doing better though.
Sure.
But it's just a touristic place to go.
So Patrick says Twist and Shout, and that's in Denver, is pretty good. I would agree with that. They've got a nice mix of new and used. They've got like tchotchkes. When we travel, my wife likes the stores that have the tchotchkes because she's done looking at for like 10 minutes. So then once they have the tchotchkes, it kind of keeps her interest. Now, Beverly Records in Chicago is good but overwhelming because it's packed with used records. I have heard this. I think that's Southside, if I'm not mistaken. Vance is still here. He can tell us. But,
any East Coasters here? There's a spot in Connecticut called Jerosa Records, which if you ever make it up there, it's kind of sounds like Beverly. It's just used top to bottom, a lot of unsorted stuff. There's always gems there, and they turn their used over like crazy in that place.
Yeah, Wyoming Dave series says Wax Tracks in Denver is good. Yeah, they actually are smart because I think they bought the building next to them, and so they actually broke out used and new into the two separate spaces, which I don't know about you guys, but I'd love when the used is the used and the new is the new, because then you don't spend as much time, putting fingers on records you're probably not going to buy. So, Kimbo is coming in hot. This is OBC Record Shop is overrated. Yeah, I've heard that. I can't say that's not the case. But, and yeah, Andy G, what's up, Andy? Yeah, Southside. Beverly is on Southside. See, I'm almost like a Chicago, and I got to come up like 3 more times, and then I get a tattoo. Jose, where did you go? You said something. Are you being abducted, Jose? Hello.
No, wait, my wife entered looking for something.
Oh, you pulled what we call the Ricefield Records. You don't want her to know you're on the live stream?
And my dog came around. He's wearing a vest.
Oh, your dog has a vest. That is, wow. Jose, grab the dog again. Well, show us the vest, please.
What do you want me to grab the dog again?
Came here for? Wow, that is amazing. I love it.
It's getting cold here.
I love it.
That's it. That's the only.
Terry's coming in hot with the Chicago. Yeah, Gramophone in Chicago is good for dance music. They have like the checkerboard floor too. That's off a Clark, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, love it. All right. Well, similar topic, since Patrick Pibithal is our associate producer tonight, he said, start it. Similar vein, how about most overrated record store? Oh, no, that's not it. How about most overrated cities to buy records? Which, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming we've all kind of traveled. I'm assuming we've all kind of like at least checked out some record stores. Chris, I'll start with you. Like, what would you think is a city that people talk up that you're just kind of like, maybe you didn't find the right spots, maybe you found it unsatisfactory to what you collect? What cities come to mind?
I was really disappointed in Boston, actually. I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
I was over there over the summer with my wife, and I scoped out a couple places, jumped in the Uber, and it was probably similar to how Dave treats it. I walked in, I saw the used, and I just walked right back out, or I just expected more out of Boston.
Now the difference is when Bianco goes in and sees it, he says, "This is an excursion I will not be taking," and then he just leaves.
That's right.
He gets his laptop and throws it over his shoulder and walks out.
Yeah, and I'll say, being a New Yorker, and maybe it's because I'm not down there enough, but you think the city would be more appealing, and I think, unfortunately, a lot of the great stores closed before vinyl came back in New York. I remember as a kid going down, and there was just a ton of record stores in the village, and there was some, other music was open and things like that. So they just couldn't hang on long enough to have the ride the wave of the comeback, which is unfortunate. So, but that's a little disappointing. But Boston was atrocious. I just couldn't believe it. And even the Newberry flagship is there, which is always fun, and that's underwhelming also.
Yeah, so I was like you. So I was up in Boston for like a couple days with a work thing, and so I had a couple hours to kill, and so I went to it's since closed. It was like something, music in your ear or something. It wasn't very good. And then I went to the flagship Newberry, like you said, and I was expecting they've got a ton of tchotchkes. They've got Funko Pops out your wazoo, but the records were just I wouldn't even say mid. I was just like, wow, this is Newberry. And I was kind of I just kind of walked out.
The only thing good about Newberries, two things I find, is number one, they don't know what they have, so it's so unorganized. You could find dead stock, variants and stuff, or just stuff that might have gone out of print quick. And the second thing is they tend to get overabundant with RSD stuff. So if you go in a couple months later, it's just on blowout. Stuff that's inflated on Discogs is half off in a Newberry bin. So it's.
I was gonna say Vinyl and Kicks 86 says Newberry is steaming trash. So I think that is probably a popular way to say what both Chris and I are saying.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. So now Spins Vinyl. I don't know if you've heard of them. Spins Vinyl is here. Says there are some hidden gems in Portland, Oregon. And it's funny you bring this up, Spins, because when I visited you end of May, beginning of June, whenever that was, we went to that one spot, Music History, which somebody over at Too Many Records had recommended to us. Shout out to Goose. And great. I enjoyed the shop. Do you know who recently shopped there last week? Spins. Before I answer, I'll see if you pay attention because I follow him on social media. And I'll give you a hint, it is a member of Hip Hop Royalty. He is a member of a famous hip hop duo, and he recently had a flute album come out. So come back to it.
Is it Flavor Flav?
Nice guess, but no, was not the flavorful one.
I thought it was a flute, but I think it's a clock. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy one to.
I actually got a flute record today.
Oh, check you out. Yeah, Patrick says I recommend Crossroads in Portland. It is. It's like 24 record stores in one. There's so much to choose from that I didn't. First time I went there, I didn't understand the layout because there's just boxes on boxes on boxes, and then I started seeing the same records in different areas of the store, and it became quickly discernible to me that there's a lot of vendors in one spot. So, all right. So the answer is, if you're scoring at home, Andre 3000, Kevin, me and myself and my vinyl as the first one I saw. I don't have any prizes from the prize closet because, again, we're still waiting on donos / reviews of the podcast. So we need to start greasing the wheel that way. But yeah, Andre 3000 went up there and dropped. I don't know how much. I think it was about $1,000 because the store owner showed the screen and it said Andre Benjamin, and then he blurred out the information. And so that was awesome. I thought that was really good. But it's a great shop. Great shop. Enjoy it. So High Definition TV, best record shop in Portland PDX is Blackwater, and then in City Noise. See, I've never been there. See, this is great because I can just add those to my list. Enjoy it. All right. Have we beat this topic up, guys? I mean, the gallery is on fire. There are some great ones. Elliot Cruz fought in the Civil War. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know what side he was on, but he said, I hardly ever go to actual record stores. Buy new record stores from Amazon or artist websites. Buy used from Discogs, other collectors, and auctions. And you go to record shows. You're like the record show guy, Elliot. You're always hitting those up. Oh yeah, thank you, Kevin. You hooked me up with Talking Heads. That's right, I did. That was fun. Glad I can make that happen. All right, now it's the part of the program we really get to the nitty gritty. What kind of cool stuff we picked up since the last departed? I know, Chris, you were just on the B side with Jose Sherlock Hombre over there.
I picked up good records.
You pick up. Some
I'm
good
always
records?
picking up something.
All right, well, let's start with New Jason. He is the guest. This is his maiden voyage on what's probably going to be canned. Actually, Kimbo, Kid and Play was not the answer to the Andre 3000 question. It was a good guess.
Right.
I wish I would have saw that sooner. But New Jason, tell us what kind of cool records have you added of late to your collection?
Well, the one I just got last week is the new Smile album, cutouts. If you don't know the Smile, it's Tom York and Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead.
Nice.
And another.
I mean, I'm so into that album. I mean, it's so great. The Smile is one of my favorite bands. And then, other than that, I haven't picked up a ton, but I picked up an original OG. I think Chance, you saw a Nirvana In Utero.
I did.
Was on the clear vinyl. That was like a big one that I picked up, and I'm trying to like piece together things that I really want. And
well, Jason, can we stay on that one for a second, because I don't want to get your opinion by giving you mine, but what did you think of the sound quality of that record first?
Oh my God. Like, I thought for me, like because I got I want to say it wasn't a 45, but like the remix version of that.
You probably got the 2013 Steve Albini.
Yeah, I got that. That sounded okay. But then I put the clear vinyl on. I was like, holy freaking F balls. Like, It was just on another level.
Yes, it's one of the few records. It is pricey, and I'm not going to ask how much you pay for it, but it's a pricey one. But it's one of the few records that if there's anybody in the fence, Arnaldo in our group chat actually was like, I would never pay that for a record. It's pretty awesome. It is.
What record? I snoozed out. Sorry.
Hey, Sherlock Hombre over here with this pipe. I think the pipe is affecting you, Jose. No, we were talking about. No, we're talking about In Utero.
I'm smoking Wilco in here.
I know. Oh my gosh. No, the first pressing of In Utero is on clear vinyl, 1993. So you're thinking, oh, clear vinyl probably sounds like ass. Chef Kiss. It is audiophile. It was obviously. It was, I think, was Albini. Who was the producer?
Albini, yeah.
Was it Albini?
Albini was the recording engineer.
Recording engineer. Yeah.
He did not master it.
If you think about albums that came out in the 90s, pressed in the 90s, the sound quality is literally hit or miss.
Well,
but this one knocks it out of the park. And that's one of those ones that I would say, if you're going to buck up on something, just like Nirvana first pressing, Nevermind, like those are the ones that if you're really going to like take that third paycheck month money and just put it all in, those are the ones to get.
Yeah, but I mean, again, if I'm not a jazz guy, that's not my thing. But Tom Skinner on the Smile, he's a jazz guy, and he's amazing on the drums. Like, he is just pure gold. So, like, if you're into jazz and want to hear some good drums, like, definitely check out the Smile.
Nice, Jason. We have a comment. This is a compliment from Terry. Tap Records. He says, a man after my own heart with the Bee Gees album on my playing list. So
that's on my YouTube shorts each day. So today was the Bee Gees had a #1 hit, first band in the UK from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s with a #1 hit. So that was what's on the now playing.
I like the history lesson you just gave everybody. Some people say the show's a little light on information, but you just hit them with the pow. And if they don't like it, they can. It's part of the Beach Boys, the Bleach Boys. They're just, they're out there causing a lot of mischief. All right, Chris, what kind of stuff you been grabbing?
Well, first off, I got to echo Jason's comments on the Smile. I dropped the needle on it the first time last night, and I was like, it was one of those rare occurrences where I went right back on the table because I was like, I got to hear it again. So
you might have sold me. This is what we call vinyl community peer pressure. So I'm gonna put it on.
Well, if you don't have the first two are great too.
Oh my God, the first two are amazing.
It's like I'm sad that Radiohead's maybe not going to be around, but I'm not disappointed that this is the remnants
rumor
of
is
it.
They're getting back together. That's the rumor.
I hope so.
What is Norman Maslov talking about?
Norman Maslov is attacking the show. He says this show is light on a lot of shit. So, Norman, we take that as a badge of honor because we
Thanks,
are.
Mazzy.
Yeah.
Stop eating fucking cantaloupe at this time of the hour.
He's got cantaloupe wet poops going on. Sorry, Chris. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Mine's nothing out of the ordinary. Just the latest releases from the Analog Productions Atlantic 75.
Uh-oh.
So this is great. Every first week of the month, I get a nice suitcase at my door. I've kept most of these. Some of the bands I don't really care for, the Bad Company and the Foreigner and stuff, not really my cup of tea. But I haven't listened to them yet. Those are going to go on tonight. But I look forward to that once a month. I really like the idea of a subscription. If it's a series that I can get into, obviously has some essential records. I think it's great to have. And I think they do it right.
Especially if it's as cheap as that one.
Well, this goes back to where you're going to allocate your dollar, right? I'm certainly not going to go out and get, an OG Mingus of this and probably find it in great shape. So, but I love it.
Can I ask a question? Because we do have 2 subscription Atlantic 75 people. I'm going to put you right next to each other.
Okay.
On the count of 3, what is your subscriber number? Okay. Because that's a big deal with some, the lower the number. So I'm on the count of 3. That way there's no shame in the game. 3,
so
2,
we'll buy it off on Discogs next year.
3, 2, 1.
321. 321.
308.
Oh, look at this. Wow. That's pretty wild. Both in the 300s. I like it. It.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to Music Talk with John. Music Talk with John survived some of those Florida storms. And he's actually, I think every night, John, tell me in the comments below if I'm getting this wrong, you are doing this live streaming just for the fun of it. And you're actually pulling the records out of the giant rubber totes that you had them. You were prepared for biblical level stuff to happen to your home. Fortunately, none of that happened, and now you're unpacking. So you should always go check out Music Talk with John. His walk and talks, they are kind of a preamble to an Unsolved Mysteries episode soon to be, because I'm just waiting for somebody to kind of run him over with a car, or Robert Stack to say, John was walking with a selfie stick when he was abducted by some Guatemalan nationals. Anyway. Good stuff. But anyway, John, I'm glad everything worked out for you. Groovy Lisa is here. All right. What's up, Lisa? I like buying my records in store online. I hear you. I think that's a good way to be. Yeah, Music Talk with John. He's every night. He's like those telephone commercials, like Psychic Friends, the 900 number. John. Music Talk with John will be there. Whether or not you want to pay $5.99 a minute, it's up to you. But he does say his selfie stick is his weapon of choice. So, John, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate it. Bianco.
Yep.
What kind of record have you been at? And obviously, you got those Atlantic 75, so I don't want to.
Well, now here comes the story.
All right. Story time with David Bianco. I'm going to make you over here. Oh, by the way, Cesar was asking me to do this view, so I went and figured it out, and I made a different background. So, Cesar, I hope you're there, because I did this just for you, Cesar.
Wow.
All right. So, David, what kind of stuff have you been grabbing?
So the last 3 that were released that Chris just showed, I didn't get, and I was.
God, we've got some controversy, David. Are you about to attack Acoustic Sounds?
Well, I'm accused of never saying anything, negative and being a shill for Chad and whatever. But I didn't get mine, so I called them and kind of said, hey, didn't you release a set that, I didn't get? And they looked, they go, oh, yeah, we didn't ship those to you. I said, oh, why not? I mean, she said, oh, let me look, and looked, and it's like, oh, your card expired. And I'm like, well, didn't the system tell you that you had an order that failed?
Right.
It's like, no, we take 500 orders a day. And I'm like, so I never would have got notified and my subscription would have stopped. Well, you'd have figured out you weren't getting them. Well, okay.
Hang on, David. Order number 501 is coming in now. Hang on. Yeah. On the website, they got 501. They're taking order 501 right now. Sorry,
Dave. I think they is it. I hope I'm not cutting you off. I think they failed you there, because I've gotten that notification that my card expired.
No, I did not get that notification.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So
That's on
the
them.
clock behind me, by the way, is a dB meter. So that's, if someone was asking, that's not a clock, and it's not an IQ measurer either. But anyway, so so anyway, they took my new car, my updated expiration date, and all that. So anyway, so new albums, I don't have those yet. So this is Stevie Nicks "In Your Dreams." This was never released on vinyl, so it came out as part of Rocktober. And it's good album, very good album.
Now, can I say
Double.
this real quick, David? Because that didn't that technically come out in that box set year prior?
It did technically come out in the box set, but not individually.
Right. Yep.
So I'm glad that they released this because I've always listened to it streaming and liked it. Here is a John Anderson solo album, the guy from Yes.
Oh, sure.
And I ordered the one where you get a signed card from him that he signs.
Nice. Is he wearing a scarf? Because every time I've seen him in concert, he's wearing a scarf.
Yeah. So it's on the crappiest color,
gold. Gold always sounds like ass. I got to be honest. It's never.
So not only doesn't it sound good from that perspective, but it's compressed to crap. Streaming it actually sounds better.
Wow.
Hey, but it's signed.
It's well, the card is. So I mean, it's a really good album, but I just can't recommend the vinyl of it.
That sucks.
Unfortunately,
That's a piece of shit cover, by the way.
And this was, I got this. I did a video on it. This cut of Cosmos Factory is unbelievable. Mo-Fi original MFSL. I hear stuff I never heard before on this one. Really well done.
What year did that get released, David? Off the top of your head, do you know? In terms of the Mo-Fi.
1980, 81.
Okay.
Nice. It's a part of the original, early stuff. It's number 37. It was 37th release, so early 80s.
So your partner in crime, Novice Nick, says that is the best pressing there is of that LP.
Yeah. Nick got one as well. Yeah, he ordered one after he saw my review, and I've even got the QRP one that was Kevin Gray and Steve Hoffman, and this beats it, hands down.
Now, hang on. I have in the Music Man says he hearts those albums, David. I also got those albums. Did you get all of David's? Because that's, it's pretty impressive if you know what David's got coming in each week. He just mirrors the buying patterns right off of David's order. That's pretty wild.
Hey, David, David, you have the subscription. What do you do with the titles that you don't like? I'm curious.
That's a great question.
I just leave them in the shelf. I do have some friends that like jazz, and I loan them to them and let them open them up and listen to them.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I found one person on Discogs that I just redistribute to, and then my brother-in-law takes what I don't like. So
are you selling yours?
Just for the sticker, just for the $60 or whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand, but no, I'm not selling them. I'll loan them out if people want to listen, if they want to buy them.
Yeah,
but now I'm keeping it intact for now.
I wanted to keep them intact, but I just start to run out of real estate, So.
Amen. I get that. I had to buy more shelving for this room. So
I was going to ask you, David, because obviously, if you've been watching the show or you watch David's channel, David's in a new place. He moved, so. Are you buying more Calyx or more Cali?
Yeah,
Cali?
I bought a 5x5.
Oh, big.
Yeah. I needed a 5x5. Yeah. So
you still have you can still stack up.
A little bit. And I've got a shelf to my left here that's all Beatles. That's a 3x3 of all Beatles stuff. So.
David, you're just getting started. I think we need to go back to that first topic, and you need to start buying more records.
Weeding out duplicates now.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I'm doing kind of the same thing now. I've got all my Calyx mounted to the walls. I even added an additional Calyx, which I didn't originally plan on, and I'm literally thinning the herd. Like, I don't need two Pete Townsend Empty Glass albums. You know what I mean? And it's just stuff that I accumulated over the years of, back when you could get good records consistently. I saw Terry said this earlier. You can still find records at the thrift. It's few and far between, but consistently, I would grab anything and everything when you're in that collection building stage of, building your collection. But yeah, today I'm pulling out my Who stuff. I'm cleaning and I'm processing it. Novice Nick, I'm getting the lavender bass and the lilac, dark room. You know how it goes. I mean, but yeah, I'm like, I don't need 2 of Empty Glass by Pete Townsend. So
Right.
anyway, we'll make a video about that.
You don't even need one.
Jose.
I've got one thing to say to you, Jose. I got one thing to say to you. Let my love open the door. Okay, Jose.
You know, there's a great version of M Ward. You know, M Ward doing
Yeah.
that song. So fuck the original version, and
I can't believe that. Look at that's sacrilege. I mean, before Pete Townsend was looking at like inappropriate, child porn.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Now, Kimbo, I'm gonna have to put you in a timeout because this is a hot take if I've ever seen one. He says purging is for quitters. Purging
is for people that accept that some records that are coming are better than the ones you have.
I thought purging was for shitters. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what record you should never purge? It's Hot Poop.
Hot poop.
Hot poop.
Yeah, it's shit to buy. It's shit to sell.
Hey, Bianco, Mazzy's coming in with, I would call a David Bianco joke. He says 2 would make a full glass. 2
Okay.
would make a full glass. So that's the
that is Jewish side talking because that's a horrible joke.
Oh man, I like it. Now, Jose, I've saved perhaps the best for last because I know you've picked up some records.
I got 3 today. I'm not gonna show the other ones
today. Well, I mean, let's. Are these the best 3 that you'd like to share with the audience, or what do you think? All right, let's go. I'm
not gonna give a fuck about any of the ones that I show, so it's fine.
Oh, Jose, don't listen. Jason said pre-show. New Jason said that he took a Jose recommendation, put it into practice. Love the album. So, Jose, you should be feeling 10 feet tall.
Well, first I'll give a recommendation before I give.
Hang on, Jose. Before we get started, we got a comment. Vinyl and Kicks 86 says you should purge hot poop from your system. Jose, is that accurate?
Yes, but it's not recommended. All right.
So, what kind of stuff have you brought in to fill your space?
My first recommendation is this is not this record has belonged to me for quite a number of years, but my recommendation is for anyone here that likes In Utero and was talking about how good it fucking sounds and all that jizz. My recommendation is yes. Jesus. My recommendation is get the Jesus Lizard. This is Goat. So this was also recorded by Steve Albini. This is in one of the best labels of all time, or at least for me, Touch and Go. And they even have a 7-inch split with Nirvana. Yeah, the jizz. And if you guys don't know the Jesus Lizard, I think this record is better than a lot of Nirvana stuff, and I just love how the sound of the drums in this record sound. The reissues sound just as good as the original one, so you don't have to like actually track anything down. It's a very affordable record, $25 or whatever. All right, Cesar. Yeah, you're like
Cesar was putting his big boy pants on. I like it. Just for that.
Yeah, I know I'm new to the group, but if you had your pipe with you during these recommendations, I think we'd take you a lot more seriously.
Please put the pipe in. Hang on.
There you go.
I got one real quick. Hang on, we got one for you.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Jose,
I will say.
I hope you didn't hear that, Jose. 1 second.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
There you go, Jose. That was just for you. All right.
So I would say, of course, Eddie actually got that 7-inch on the last Austin Record show, so that's pretty great.
Hang on, Jose. Music Talk with John is ruining your segment. He says, I believe all that jizz is the prequel to Star is Born.
Yeah, the original one, like the one from the 40s or whatever.
Unbelievable. This show is just the
all that jizz. But instead of blackface, they do a whiteface. All right.
Whiteface? Oh my god.
Oh my
god. All right, so that's one record, Jose, that we totally just insulted. What else you got?
No. All right, yeah, but listen to it. Like, you would like this, Chance. I think this is right up your alley. But I think you probably haven't heard this.
Hang on.
But just listen to like the first track. Next time you're in a record store, they always have this record for $25. It's a known label that always has this Slint, Big Black. All those bands on this label are always very cheap. They probably still have Slint for less than $20. So it's not an expensive record, and you like it. Again, Nirvana
I wrote it down, Jose. Jose wrote it down.
All right.
They're on tour too, I think.
Yeah. They just released their first record in I don't know how many fucking times.
Jose, do you know what this means? Felipe,
Yes.
Jack Mom's fame. He says goat has more meat than lizard. What do you say?
That's the other record. It's called Lizard.
Got it.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite one. Again, just listen to the first track, you'll be like, oh, all right. That's this sounds more like Nirvana than all the fucking whatever. This is not grunge at all. But whatever the people call grunge this sounds more like Nirvana than Nirvana sounds like Soundgarden, right? It's fucking Spoonman. All right, so this is another. What a fucking. All right.
Drink.
Fucking Spoonman. All right. Spoonman. All right. So this is acoustic or a classical record that I got today. I call it a grail because this record is not on YouTube. It's not on Spotify. It's not anywhere in the fucking internet. You have to actually buy it to listen to it. And it's a concert of mostly Mexican classical music composers. This one is violin and electrical sounds. And it's
but it says on the top, am I reading that correctly? Manuel Rodriguez?
No, Manuel Enriquez.
Manuel Enriquez. I see him.
Yeah, he's Mexican. Yeah. So he's a great composer. That's classical music. If you like Penderecki, from Hiroshima, you've probably at least seen what is it? The Exorcist. They use all the creepy music in The Exorcist was not composed for The Exorcist. It's just music by this guy. By Penderecki. But so it sounds like this. So you might enjoy it. So I got this from a seller in Portland that I'm really happy that he found. All right, next record. This is an incredibly hard to get record by Jorge Reyes, which is again, this is all Mexican shit.
Come on! What do you have against Ringos, Jose? Come on.
No, fuck this shit. This is a beautiful record. It's basically a little bit of electronic music with ethnic instruments from Mexico, and he was really appreciated in Europe, but not in here or Latin America. So this is a one edition that they did 100 copies of, and is extremely rare. And I got it; it's sealed, so nobody gives a fuck. But I'm extremely happy. And then the other one. It's so I'm working on trying to reissue this record, but I didn't own it. So if you look up, I have cassettes because the artist gave me a cassette of this experimental flute, and it's all Mexican experimental.
I'm gonna try this one. It says, Mary. Hang on, you gotta hold it up so I can read it. It says
Marilena
Arispe.
Yeah, Marilena Arispe.
Hey, not too bad. Not too bad. All right.
Right. So this was reissued on cassette a few years after the original release, and the vinyl is extremely hard to get. I'm trying to reissue it on vinyl, but I couldn't find a copy on vinyl. But somebody traded me some stuff, and I got it on vinyl.
Oh, sweet.
And I think the cheapest copy of this right now, it's a guy in Japan selling it for like $165. So if you look up on YouTube, I put up this cassette up on YouTube because you couldn't hear this stuff. So I'm trying to take out the equation that people always say about experimental music, that it's like hard to find or hard to get. So it's now up on YouTube and you can listen to it. And I don't know. This is boring records, but to me it's like.
Yeah, no joking. I like the fact you took that and put it on YouTube for other people to listen to. That's pretty nice of you.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do that with this one, the other one that I showed, because again, it was not released on CD. It's
Sure.
not on YouTube. You can't find it anywhere else. So I think that, especially with this type of music, sometimes it's interesting. I'm also trying to put this up. This is a cassette. It's a folk music from here where I live, Monterey. Like, so
Group
stuff
folk?
like that.
Okay.
I collect folk music, but also like very specific, like ethnic, regional stuff, even from the U.S., Europe, and Canada.
Jose, we got a question. Richard S says, Jose, all exclamations. No lover boy, no Eagles. Come on. Jose, how do you respond to such a targeted line of questioning? Oh, now Jose is holding. Jose, tell the masses what you're holding. Is that a bootleg? Is that a
An
counter?
Uno Steppo.
This is a DSD lover boy. Eagles on the border.
On the border.
This actually sounds pretty good. This is not mine. This is a friend of mine.
I was going to say that's off brand, Jose. So I thought maybe that was a counterfeit or you traded somebody a big stack.
No. This is a friend. So I share the PO box with him. So he got these.
I got the Santana.
I
Those
saw
are
these.
discounted at Plaid Room Records for $75 on the
No,
border.
that's what I did. I was actually thinking that because
Yeah, they're
I saw
discounted.
Platinum had that big sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're returns from people who sent them back, is what they are.
No, this sounds really beautiful. I have an original of this, and it's a record I enjoy. This is my friend's, so I'm biased to buying it because I'm not gonna buy it. But this sounds better than my original one.
Jose
It
is
comes with a
holding
poster.
Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel, the Mobile Fidelity.
Ay, Shirota. I was gonna release one of the records, but the guys were like, they wanted me to release like a single instead of a record. So I was like, they're pretty good guys. And but
Hey, Chance,
yeah,
I got to run, buddy. I got to be somewhere shortly.
All right,
so.
David. Hey, a pleasure.
you
We're going to
later.
wrap up here shortly anyway, but David, always a pleasure. Good to
Thanks,
see you, Chris.
everybody.
Take
Nice
care.
to meet you, David.
See you. Nice here, Chris.
and I just want to add that I don't show these records because I think
Yeah, Felipe, you broke Felipe's brain. He says, Jose, Eagles, question mark. What's going on?
I was gonna say that I don't show these records that nobody knows because of anything else, but because I want people to actually know about them. So the purpose is to stop people thinking that we don't want you guys to listen to these records, but to actually put them out there for people to enjoy. Because
Jose, Ivan's got a question. I think I know the answer. Do you have a tape recorder player to play your cassettes?
I have 4 tape decks and 4 Tascam 4-tracks and one smaller one that I don't particularly use at all. Yes, I have a cassette label, so that's all I do. Here's a stack of cassettes from my label.
I like it.
So yes.
Jose, Mark Glassman's here. He says, I am also into very specific regional music. I'm into music from a specific Seattle neighborhood where you can hear an espresso machine and CNN in the background.
Yeah.
Where is that? Is that West Seattle? I've been to West Seattle.
Oh, by the way, anybody here lives in? Does anybody live in Portland?
Spins
Vinyl?
Vinyl. Jason
Yeah,
Spins.
Jason.
Oh, he does live there. There's talking about too many records. They have a
Highland District. The metal video. Is that what you're talking about?
no, I don't know about the metal video, but they put out a video of like music that I actually like. But it was weird because they were saying like you never see this shit. Oh my god, in the U.S. So they're probably gonna have like absolute garbage prices. But I'm interesting. If anybody here is going to that sale of coil and experimental and stuff like that, let me know.
Jose, I think you'd get along real well with Matt Kessler. I've never met him, but I think your musical tastes align. You're into the stuff that only you talk passionately about, like just like when I watch some of his videos, he talks passionately about, and I think there's probably like a kindred spirit about some of that weird shit.
Well, like for example, I wouldn't say like most of this it's weird shit, but most of it is just unknown because it's maybe more regional and other stuff.
I gotcha. Kimbo says it sounds like the alt wave goth collection. I'm going next week. Matt is my friend.
Dana, I'm gonna hit you up, and
you're
gonna have a fucking list. You're gonna have a fucking list of records I need. But if you say no, I understand. Don't worry. If you can throw me under the bus, but if I can only ask you to tell me the prices, I'll be happy.
Hey, new Jason, we got this one from Easy Now 27. Too Many Records. Is that a vape store? Jason, do you answer this one?
No, that's not a
many
vape store, but okay.
I see what you did there,
It's a
Easy.
record store, but okay.
Oh, look, see, Jose. Look, Kimbo's gonna make it happen. He's the dream maker.
Right,
He's all about making those dreams come true.
All right, yeah, because they put up like I think it was I don't remember what the video says, but from a DJ or something. But it's a really fucking good like collection. They have like normal stuff like Joy Division, but they also have like nicher things that I wouldn't say they say like they don't show up. They do show up, but it's not as common as people think, you know.
So before we wrap, because we're right up at time, guys, but Breakfast King of Loyal has interesting says because he again just went to Portland. I saw he went to what's that one, Little Axe and some of those other spots. So as soon as I got to Portland, my Instagram feed was overrun with Too Many Records sponsored ads. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Because that would lead me to believe that but here's why. Because if you remember famously, I think Mazzy left. Mazzy got disgusted with my terrible sense of humor. When he went and obviously visited and the store was closed, and that was kind of a little bit. Matt had said at the time, like, yeah, I said on my Instagram stories that the shop would be closed. And it was a very interesting response because that's assuming that everyone who shops there is automatically going to check their Instagram stories to see what his hours are. And so they hear that, and then coupled with this, I think that maybe Matt really leans into that Instagram thing, which is an interesting approach because wouldn't you want to not only do that, but take bites of all the apples everywhere else, Google reviews? Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Now, Groovy Lisa says she met Too Many Records, but has never been to. How'd you meet him? Was this virtually? Did you go like on his live streams? He does those live streams where he shows you the gratuitous amount of records.
Didn't you met him? I met him in the Austin show.
No, well, oh, you did? No, so at Austin I did not, because Louie and I were back at the house, and he started live streaming from the record show, and I follow him on Instagram, and I got the little alert on my phone. It says Too Many Records is streaming. I didn't even know he was in Austin, to be honest with you. And then I saw it, and so Louie is like, "Oh, you gonna go over and meet that guy?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And it's nothing against Matt. I was worn out, man. I was like 2 days of really hitting record stores hard, and it was just,
I talked with him. I never said I knew who he was, and we were just talking about a Beck record that we're selling that I think actually Mazzy bought. So
yeah, the guys went down. Mazzy and Kimbo and a couple of them went down and actually went to his store, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Terry. Well, Terry, you're in Austin, so you probably know him. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's where I met him.
Now, Ivan, I don't know if this is true. This is how rumors get started, but Ivan says Too Many Records is that Mazzy's favorite shop. I think it could be. It could be. I think it's his number. We call numero uno, as Jose would like to say. Numero uno record store. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I think we have literally exhausted the audience with Vape Store stories. What was it? All that jizz. We've really we've set new
all that jizz
steps to what the audience is willing to listen to. But I appreciate everybody coming in. Hit that like button. Like I said, Vinyl Community Podcast. Go to Apple, leave a review. Trying to grow this whole engine and see where it takes us into the stratosphere. But I want to thank my guests. I want to say, hey, nice to meet Chris officially. We traded some emails and some social media stuff. So welcome to the team. I'm glad you're going to be on a regular, it sounds like, on the B side. So that's awesome. And
thank you.
New Jason, the invite is always open. Anytime you want to rejoin us, we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely, Chance. Thank you.
My pleasure. And then Jose, that pipe, can you pull out the pipe one more time? Because that is a terrific.
My drawer.
It's in your drawer. I mean, look at this. What other live stream has this?
Well, you know, it's I used to smoke pipe, but I don't anymore. But I keep it because it's a nice looking pipe, right?
It's a hell of a pipe. I mean, literally, how many people in your life do you know has a pipe? It's less than 5 in my life.
I used to roll my own cigarettes, so then this came, and then I stopped doing it because
Cigarettes, sure, Jose. Cigarettes, yes, I
yeah.
get it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. B-side next week. Join the crew there, and I'll see you in 2. Later.